First contact and deception. The Vectari Dominion prided itself on conquest efficiency. For 8 centuries, they had expanded across their galactic arm, subjugating or eliminating over 300 species. Their method was simple: identify resource-rich worlds, assess resistance potential, and apply appropriate force. With each conquest, their war machine grew stronger, their tactics more refined. Supreme Commander Zal Vos stood on the command deck of the Eternal Dominance, his flagship and pride of the Vectari fleet. His 4 eyes blinked in sequence as he studied the holographic projection of a blue-green planet. "Earth," he said, rolling the strange word over his forked tongue. Assessment. Intelligence Officer Miratel stepped forward, her scaled skin reflecting the blue light of the hologram. "A Category 3 civilization. Commander, they've achieved space travel but remain confined to their solar system. Initial scans show a population of approximately 8 billion. They appear to have overcome most internal conflicts and maintain a unified planetary government." "Military capabilities?" Zal Vos asked, his voice betraying nothing. "Limited," Miratel replied. "Their orbital presence consists primarily of scientific and commercial satellites. We've detected no significant defensive platforms or armed vessels. Ground-based military installations are minimal, and weapon signatures suggest primitive kinetic and low-yield energy weapons." Zal Vos narrowed his eyes. "That seems unusual for a unified species. The humans appear to have redirected resources from traditional military endeavors to scientific and social development." Miratel explained. "Our historical analysis suggests they experienced devastating global conflicts approximately 2 centuries ago, after which they reformed their approach to security and governance." "Fascinating," Zal Vos said. "A species that found unity through trauma rather than conquest. How quaint." He turned to his resource officer. "And the planet's value?" "Exceptional, Commander," the officer responded eagerly. "Rich in rare heavy elements, abundant water, diverse biosphere with countless compounds of potential use. Additionally, the human population would provide valuable labor for our operations throughout the sector." Zal Vos felt the familiar thrill of an upcoming conquest. A valuable prize indeed. Initiate first contact protocols. Let's see how these humans respond to the honor of Vectari attention. 3 days later, the human diplomatic vessel Prometheus approached the designated meeting coordinates in Earth's orbit. The ship was modest by Vectari standards, sleek and functional rather than imposing. It bore no visible weapons, only communication arrays and scientific instruments. Ambassador Elena Chen stood in the Prometheus observation deck, studying the massive Vectari vessel with professional curiosity. At 53, she had spent her career building bridges between differing perspectives, but this represented her greatest challenge yet. "Are you nervous, Ambassador?" asked Captain Rajiv Singh, the ship's commander. Chen smiled. "I'd be a fool not to be, but I'm excited too. Humanity has waited generations for this moment. Proof we're not alone." The communication screen flickered to life, revealing Commander Zal Vos's imposing figure. His reptilian features betrayed no emotion as his translator processed Chen's greeting. "The people of Earth welcome the Vectari Dominion, with hopes of peaceful exchange and mutual understanding," Chen said, performing the traditional open palm gesture of her office. Zal Vos studied her with calculated interest. "The Vectari Dominion acknowledges Earth and its representatives. We come seeking knowledge and trade." The initial exchange proceeded smoothly. Chen noted how the Vectari commander seemed particularly interested in Earth's governance, resource management, and defense systems. His questions were pointed but not overtly threatening, and Chen answered with diplomatic transparency while maintaining appropriate reservation. "Our unified government was formed following the resource wars," she explained. "Humanity realized that our greatest threats were of our own making: climate instability, resource depletion, and conflict. We redirected our collective energies towards sustainable development and scientific advancement. And your defenses? Zalvos asked. How does Earth protect itself from external threats in this dangerous universe? Chen smiled diplomatically. We maintain sufficient protective measures while focusing on peaceful exploration. Our philosophy emphasizes prevention through cooperation rather than deterrence through strength. Later, aboard the Eternal Dominance, Zalvos reviewed the meeting with his command staff. They are exactly as we suspected, he said, satisfaction evident in his voice. A species that has grown soft through peace. They speak of cooperation because they lack the strength for conflict. Their technology is impressive in some areas. Science Officer Krevtal noted. Their energy efficiency and computational systems exceed our own in certain applications. Zalvos dismissed the concern with a wave. Civilian applications. What use are efficient computers against disruptor cannons? What defense do sustainable energy systems offer against orbital bombardment? He gestured to the tactical display. Begin moving our reserve fleet into position. Maintain diplomatic engagement to distract them. In 20 cycles, we will offer Earth the honor of becoming the newest province of the Dominion. And if they refuse? Asked Mira Telephone. Zalvos smiled, revealing rows of sharp teeth. Then we will demonstrate what happens to those who reject our generosity. For 2 weeks, diplomatic exchanges continued. The Vectari shared carefully selected cultural and scientific information while gathering intelligence on Earth's capabilities and resources. Ambassador Chen and her team worked tirelessly to build rapport, though she increasingly sensed something predatory behind the aliens' courteous exterior. In a secure communications chamber aboard the Prometheus, Chen spoke with the United Earth Council. They're assessing us, she said. Their questions consistently probe our vulnerabilities rather than seeking mutual understanding. Council President Adama nodded gravely. Our analysis reaches the same conclusion. Long-range sensors have detected a significant Vectari fleet advancing toward our system. They believe us defenseless, Chen said. A misconception we've encouraged, replied Defense Coordinator Leon. Deep Space Monitoring has analyzed their weapons systems and defensive capabilities. We're implementing countermeasures accordingly. Should we confront them with this knowledge? Chen asked. President Adama shook her head. Not yet. Allow them to maintain their illusion of superiority. Protocol Argus is now in effect. All civilian systems are being prepared for transition. Chen nodded. Understanding. I'll maintain diplomatic engagement. Unaware of this conversation, Zalvos finalized his invasion plans. The Vectari fleet had grown to over 300 vessels, positioning themselves at strategic points throughout Earth's solar system. He had decided to make an example of this planet. The humans' pacifistic approach to the universe deserved a harsh lesson, one that would echo across the galaxy. The time for pretense has ended, he announced to his officers. Send the message. On the Prometheus, Chen received the Vectari transmission with calm determination. Zalvos's image appeared on the screen, his previous diplomatic demeanor replaced by imperial arrogance. People of Earth, he began, the Vectari Dominion has determined that your world and species would benefit from our governance. Submit to immediate integration into the Dominion. Resistance will result in significant loss of life and infrastructure damage. Chen's expression remained impassive. Commander Zalvos, Earth respectfully declined your offer. We invite further peaceful dialogue to establish mutually beneficial relations instead. Zalvos laughed, the sound harsh and grating. Your declination is noted but irrelevant. Our fleet is already in position. You have 6 hours to reconsider before we begin systematic reduction of your military capabilities, such as they are. As the transmission ended, Captain Singh approached Chen. They've begun targeting our major cities and infrastructure nodes. Evacuation protocols are underway. Chen nodded, her eyes still fixed on the screen. They've made a fundamental error, Captain. Mom. They believe that because we chose peace, we forgot war. She turned to him, her expression resolute. It's time to educate them. Across Earth, a transformation began. What appeared to be civilian evacuation was something far more organized. Cities didn't panic. They prepared. Infrastructure didn't shut down. It reconfigured. 6 hours later, the Vecteri fleet launched their first strike, a limited demonstration targeting what they believed were Earth's few military installations. Missiles rained down upon designated coordinates, and Zalvos watched with satisfaction as explosions bloomed across the planet's surface. First phase complete, his tactical officer reported. No significant response detected. Zalvos smiled. As expected, prepare landing forces for. Commander, the sensor operator interrupted, his voice tight with sudden alarm. Multiple launches detected from Earth's surface. Impossible, Zalvos snapped. Their military capabilities were assessed as minimal, yet the evidence was undeniable. Across Earth's surface, what had appeared to be civilian structures were transforming. Commercial satellite networks reconfigured into defense grids. Public transportation tunnels revealed hidden launch facilities. Weather monitoring stations deployed advanced countermeasures. As the first wave of Vecteri landing craft descended toward Earth's atmosphere, they encountered not the token resistance expected from a peaceful civilization, but something else entirely, something that made Commander Zalvos feel, for the first time in his long career of conquest, the cold touch of uncertainty. The revelation and reckoning. Commander Zalvos watched in disbelief as the tactical display showed hundreds, then thousands, of unexpected defense systems activating across Earth's surface. The carefully planned invasion was rapidly unraveling. Impossible, he hissed. Their military infrastructure was minimal. Sir, Miratel's voice wavered with unprecedented uncertainty. We're detecting energy signatures unlike anything in our database. They appear to be emanating from civilian infrastructure. The first wave of Vecteri landing craft, designed to secure beachheads in major population centers, reported catastrophic losses. Their descent toward Beijing was halted when what appeared to be the city's public transportation system revealed a sophisticated missile defense grid. In Mumbai, apparent residential towers unleashed swarms of autonomous interceptors. New York's harbor transformed as commercial vessels deployed hidden weapon systems. Signal the second wave to delay deployment, Zalvos ordered. Tactical analysis. Now, on Earth, Director of Planetary Defense Maya Williams stood in the Global Coordination Center, a vast underground facility beneath what had appeared on Vecteri scans as a wildlife preserve. Surrounding her, teams of specialists monitored the unfolding battle with practiced efficiency. Protocol Argus performing at 94% efficiency, reported her deputy. Civilian embedded defense systems fully operational, orbital countermeasures online. Williams nodded, her expression grave but determined. Casualties? Minimal. Evacuation protocols were completed before Vecteri engagement. Defense systems are operating primarily via automation and remote operation. Williams studied the tactical display showing the Vecteri fleet's positions. They're regrouping, reassessing. As expected, she activated the communication system. All sectors transition to Phase 2. Remember, demonstrate capability, not maximum force. Across Earth, the transformation continued. Farming complexes revealed concealed anti-aircraft batteries. Schools and hospitals, evacuated hours earlier, deployed electromagnetic countermeasures from hidden installations. Automated factories shifted production lines from consumer goods to defense systems with seamless efficiency. In orbit, the civilian space stations that had appeared defenseless began emitting targeted electromagnetic pulses, disabling approaching Vecteri vessels without destroying them. Earth's modest fleet of scientific and commercial spacecraft executed coordinated maneuvers that belied their apparent civilian purpose. Aboard the Eternal Dominance, Zalvos struggled to comprehend what was happening. "This is not possible," he growled. Their military capabilities were assessed with 97% confidence. "Commander," Science Officer Krevtal's voice was strained. I believe we fundamentally misunderstood their approach. They don't maintain separate military and civilian infrastructure. They've integrated their defense capabilities throughout their entire society. Clarify, Zolvos demanded. Their defense systems aren't centralized in military bases or dedicated platforms. They're distributed throughout their civilian infrastructure, designed to transition from everyday functions to defense operations when needed. Krevtal pulled up a series of images showing ordinary buildings and vehicles transforming into formidable defense systems. Everything they've built serves dual purposes. Miratel added, their transition was too coordinated to be improvised. They've trained for this extensively. The realization struck Zolvos with chilling clarity. They hadn't abandoned military preparedness. They'd reinvented it. Their apparent vulnerability had been an illusion, whether deliberately cultivated or simply misunderstood by Vectari intelligence. Launch full-scale assault, he ordered. Overwhelm them with superior numbers. The Vectari fleet surged forward, weapons systems charging. But as they approached Earth's atmosphere, they encountered yet another surprise. The planet's orbital space, which had seemed mostly empty during initial scans, now revealed thousands of small, stealthy defense platforms emerging from concealed positions. On Earth, Maya Williams received the alert of the approaching all-out assault. They're committed now, she said. Signal the lunar defense grid to activate. On the far side of Earth's moon, hidden from Vectari sensors, massive energy weapons emerged from beneath the lunar surface. What the Vectari had dismissed as mining operations were actually the exterior signs of the most powerful weapons system in human history. Lunar Array Online, reported the weapons officer. Targeting solutions acquired. Selective targeting only, Williams ordered. Disable their command vessels and heavy weapons platforms. Remember, we're sending a message, not starting a war of extermination. The lunar array fired, brilliant beams of concentrated energy slicing through space. With surgical precision, they struck the Vectari flagship and 30 of its most powerful support vessels, disabling weapons systems and propulsion, but deliberately avoiding catastrophic damage. Zolvos was thrown to the deck as his ship shuddered under the impact. Emergency systems blared as primary power failed. Status report, he demanded, pulling himself up. Weapons systems offline. Propulsion disabled. Shields at 12% and failing, reported the tactical officer, unable to keep the fear from his voice. Same pattern across all targeted vessels. Commander, they could have destroyed us completely. Before Zolvos could respond, the communication system activated independently. Ambassador Chen's face appeared on the main screen, her expression stern but not vengeful. Commander Zolvos, she said, this engagement is over. You've witnessed only a fraction of Earth's defensive capabilities. We now invite you to participate in more productive discussions. Zolvos snarled. This deception was necessary, Chen interrupted. Earth has experienced enough war in its history to understand its cost. 2 centuries ago, we made a collective decision to reshape our approach to defense. We don't maintain standing armies or fleets of warships, not because we can't, but because we chose a better path. The screen split to show Director Williams. What you witnessed today was our integrated defense initiative. Every structure, every system, every aspect of our civilization is designed with dual purposes, to serve peace primarily, but to transform for defense when necessary. We distributed our defensive capabilities throughout our entire infrastructure, making our entire civilization resilient against attack. Our scans, Zolvos began, showed you what we wanted you to see. Williams finished. Our technologies are designed to appear civilian until activated. Our people train regularly in transition protocols. What appears to be a simple transit worker might also be a defense systems operator. A farmer might also be a tactical coordinator. Chen added, we hoped our apparent lack of military posturing would communicate our peaceful intentions. Instead, you interpreted it as weakness. That was your mistake. Zalvos looked at the tactical display showing his crippled fleet. Centuries of Vecteri military doctrine had been rendered obsolete in a single day. The humans hadn't just defeated his forces. They had done so while deliberately minimizing casualties. The demonstration of restraint was, perhaps, more terrifying than unchecked aggression would have been. "What now?" he asked, his voice subdued. "Now we negotiate. As equals," Chen replied. "Your damaged vessels will be assisted. Your injured will receive medical attention. And you will return to your dominion with a message." Williams leaned forward slightly. "Earth doesn't want war, Commander. We've evolved beyond the need for conquest. But make no mistake, what you witnessed today was a fraction of our capabilities. You haven't met our true forces yet." The screen displayed a series of images: massive underground facilities, advanced weapon systems, and defense platforms that had remained inactive during the conflict. "These are what we held in reserve," Williams explained. "We deploy approximately 30% of our defensive capabilities today. Enough to make our point without unnecessary destruction." Chen's expression softened slightly. "Earth extends an offer of diplomatic relations with the Vecteri Dominion, not as subjects, but as potential allies. We believe there's a better path forward than endless conquest. Our history taught us that lesson through blood and sacrifice. We hope you can learn it through this demonstration instead." Hours later, aboard a human diplomatic vessel, Zalvos sat across from Ambassador Chen and Director Williams. The commander's arrogance had been replaced by cautious respect. "Your approach is unprecedented," he admitted. "The Dominion has encountered 317 species. None conceptualized defense as you have." "Necessity drove innovation," Williams replied. "Our planet nearly destroyed itself in war. We had to find a better way." "And this is your message to the galaxy?" Zalvos asked. "That humans come in peace but are not to be threatened." Chen nodded. "We seek cooperation, not domination. Knowledge, not conquest. But we will defend ourselves if necessary." "Some in the Dominion will not appreciate this lesson," Zalvos warned. "Then they will learn it again," Williams said matter-of-factly, each time with increasing clarity. As the Vecteri fleet limped home days later, Zalvos stood on his repaired bridge, watching the blue-green planet recede. His report to the Dominion Council would be the most difficult of his career. How to explain that they had encountered not just a new species, but a fundamentally new approach to power. The humans had revealed something profound. That true strength might lie not in the ability to destroy, but in creating a civilization so deeply integrated that every element could serve both peace and defense. They had transcended the false dichotomy between civilian and military that had defined Vecteri thinking for millennia. As Earth vanished from view, Zalvos felt something unfamiliar. Uncertainty about the future, yes, but also a strange sense of possibility. Perhaps there were indeed other paths than those the Dominion had followed for so long. In the vastness of space, Earth continued its orbit, apparently peaceful once more. But throughout the galaxy, a message began to spread. Humanity had announced its presence on the cosmic stage, not with conquest or aggression, but with a masterclass in deterrence and restraint. They had demonstrated that they would not seek war, but that they were prepared beyond any potential aggressor's imagination. And that, perhaps, was the most powerful warning of all.